Antarctica, once a symbol of climate stability, is now sounding an alarm. For decades, its sea ice followed a predictable cycle, expanding each winter, retreating each summer. But in 2022 and 2023, the winter freeze failed. An area of ice larger than India simply didn't return. This wasn't a slow decline, but a sudden, dramatic loss, a state shift that shocked scientists worldwide. The Antarctic system appears to have crossed a tipping point, with consequences that reach far beyond its icy shores. The continent's failure to regenerate its sea ice is a clear warning. Earth's climate rules are being rewritten. We must urgently understand what's gone wrong in this frozen wilderness and what it means for us all. For decades, Antarctic sea ice was seen as a symbol of stability in a rapidly changing world. While the Arctic's ice steadily vanished, the southern ice seemed almost untouchable, holding its ground year after year. In fact, as the Arctic melted at an alarming pace, Antarctic sea ice even showed signs of growth, defying expectations and offering a rare glimmer of hope in the climate crisis. Scientists were fascinated and perplexed by this paradox. Many theorized that powerful winds and shifting ocean currents acted as a protective shield, keeping the southern ice intact. Others pointed to unique atmospheric patterns and the vast, frigid Southern Ocean as key factors. But in 2016, the story took a dramatic turn. The ice began to shrink, slowly at first, then plunging to unprecedented lows in 2022 and 2023, levels never before recorded in the satellite era. By 2023, the loss was staggering. 2.6 million square kilometers of sea ice had vanished, an area equivalent to the entire country of Argentina, simply gone from the map. Unlike previous fluctuations, this time the ice isn't bouncing back. The system appears stuck in a persistent low ice state, unable to recover, leaving scientists deeply concerned about what comes next. This sudden and dramatic collapse is forcing experts to rethink climate models and predictions. It's a clear signal that Antarctica is no longer a passive bystander, but an active and unpredictable player in the unfolding story of global change. The Southern Ocean has crossed a critical threshold, and the full consequences of this shift are only beginning to reveal themselves, threatening ecosystems, weather patterns, and sea levels worldwide. We are witnessing a dramatic leap in Earth's climate story, one that demands not just our attention but urgent action, as the fragile balance we once relied on is now broken. The culprit behind Antarctica's vanishing ice isn't just heat, it's salt. Scientists discovered that the Southern Ocean is becoming saltier, disrupting the process of ice formation. Normally, a layer of cold, fresh water sits atop warmer, saltier water, allowing ice to form each winter. Now, stronger winds mix warm, salty water up to the surface, raising salinity and making it harder for ice to freeze. This mixing melts existing ice from below and prevents new ice from forming. A vicious cycle. The ocean is fighting its own ability to freeze, driven by shifting winds and global warming. The immediate threat is this increase in surface salt, a subtle but powerful force accelerating the crisis. Antarctica's ice is caught in a battle with the ocean's changing chemistry. Think of salt on winter roads. It lowers the freezing point, stopping ice from forming. This simple trick keeps our streets safer in winter, but it's not just a human invention. Nature uses the same chemistry on a much grander scale, with consequences that reach far beyond our neighborhoods. The Southern Ocean is doing the same, but on a planetary scale. Here, salt isn't just sprinkled on the surface, it's mixed throughout the water, shaping the fate of Antarctica's ice. Normally, a cold, fresh layer of water sits on top, acting like a protective blanket. This layer insulates the ocean below, allowing sea ice to form easily and persist through the harsh polar winter. Now that layer is eroding. The once stable shield is thinning, leaving the ocean more exposed to the elements. Stronger winds churn the ocean, mixing warm, salty water up to the surface. This creates a salty soup that resists freezing, even as temperatures drop. The ocean's natural defense against ice is being dismantled by these powerful forces. The result, new ice struggles to form, and existing ice melts from below. The foundation of Antarctica's icy shield is being eaten away, not just from above, but from beneath the surface as well. Less ice exposes more dark ocean water, which absorbs sunlight instead of reflecting it. This extra heat accelerates the melting, fueling a dangerous feedback loop of warming and ice loss. This is the ice albedo effect. Less ice means more heat is absorbed, which means even less ice forms in the future. It's a cycle that's hard to break. The increased salinity is accelerating this runaway process, making recovery harder than ever. Scientists are racing to understand just how quickly these changes are happening and what it means for our planet. Salt has become a weapon in the war against Antarctica's ice, a silent force reshaping the future of the frozen continent and the world's climate. Antarctic sea ice is Earth's white shield, a vast, gleaming expanse that reflects sunlight back into space and helps regulate our planet's temperature. This brilliant white surface acts as a natural mirror, bouncing away much of the sun's energy and keeping the world cooler than it would otherwise be. But when this ice vanishes, the dark ocean beneath is exposed, absorbing far more heat and accelerating global warming. The loss of this reflective shield doesn't just make Antarctica warmer, it has a ripple effect, amplifying temperature rise across the globe and making extreme weather events more likely. With less sea ice, Antarctica's massive glaciers lose their protective barrier, leaving them vulnerable to relentless waves and warm water. This exposure causes glaciers to melt and break apart faster, pouring more fresh water into the ocean and raising sea levels worldwide. The entire southern ocean ecosystem is built around sea ice. From microscopic algae that bloom beneath the ice and feed countless creatures to krill, penguins, seals and whales, every link in the food web depends on this frozen habitat. Without sea ice, the foundation of life in Antarctica crumbles, threatening one of the last untouched wildernesses on Earth and the unique species that call it home. Sea ice also drives deep ocean currents, acting as an engine that helps circulate heat and nutrients around the globe. When this process is disrupted, it can throw off the balance of the world's climate system, with consequences that reach far beyond the polar regions. Weather patterns shift, rainfall becomes unpredictable, and agriculture worldwide is put at risk. The loss of Antarctic sea ice threatens the stability of our oceans, the reliability of our climate, and the security of our food supply. What happens at the bottom of the world truly affects us all. The choices we make today will determine whether Antarctica's white shield endures or disappears, changing our planet forever. Scientists are racing to understand Antarctica's sudden transformation. Satellites provide vital data, but real answers come from daring expeditions into the Southern Ocean. International teams deploy underwater vehicles, drill ice cores, and launch sensor buoys to track changes in real time. This global collaboration is essential to predict what comes next and to prepare for it. The message is clear. The changes in Antarctica are driven by human-caused warming. The solution is in our hands, cutting emissions, protecting ecosystems, and making sustainable choices. The silent continent is crying out. We must listen and act before it's too late. Antarctica's fate and ours are now inseparable.